Germany has revealed that tentative talks are underway with France to set up a joint European nuclear program. It comes on the heels of the New START treaty between Russia and the United States expiring earlier this month. It means there are currently no limitations for countries to develop their nuclear arsenals. RT's Donald Cotter looks into whether it could be the start of another global arms race.
A more intense nuclear deterrence is in the works for Germany and France, as if the current level of conflict wasn't enough.
Long-range missiles and deep precision strikes. This is why I mentioned this capacity, because it's extremely important, at least to be credible in this dialogue with Russia, because they do have these capacities. And we have to re-articulate nuclear deterrence in this approach. And this is why we are conceiving, and in a few weeks' time I will detail that, but we engaged a strategic dialogue, obviously with Chancellor Merz, but with few European leaders, in order to see how we can articulate our national doctrine, which is guaranteed and controlled by the Constitution, with special cooperation, common exercises, and common security interests with some key countries. This is exactly what we are doing for the first time in history with Germany. And I think this dialogue is important by itself, but it's important because this is a way to articulate nuclear deterrence in a holistic approach of defense and security. And this is a way to create convergence in our strategic approach and strategic culture between Germany and France.
To make matters potentially more dangerous, the START Treaty's expiration earlier this month means there's no longer anything standing in the way of another nuclear arms race. For its part, Moscow says it's ready to play nice, but it's not so sure about Washington.
The difficult situation in the sphere of strategic stability, the degradation of which a number of European Russophobes groundlessly blame on Russia, does not add optimism. Meanwhile, the initiative put forward by President Putin on the further voluntary observance by the parties of the central qualitative limits laid down in the Strategic Arms Reduction Treaty was left without an official response by the American side. We proceed from the fact that this moratorium on our part, which was announced by the President, remains in place, but only as long as the United States also does not exceed the aforementioned limits. And in general, we will act responsibly, judiciously, and based on an analysis of U.S. military policy. We conduct this analysis on a daily basis, and an analysis on the overall situation in the strategic sphere.
As for Paris and London, they've never been a part of the START Treaty, something that Vladimir Putin brought attention to 3 years ago.
We must understand for ourselves what countries such as France and Great Britain, members of the North Atlantic Alliance, are actually claiming, and how we will take into account their strategic arsenals. That is, the combined strike potential of the alliance.
Fast forward to today, and France has 290 nuclear warheads, while the UK has 225. Without any agreement to hold them back, they're formally free to expand their arsenal as much as they want. On top of that, Poland, a non-nuclear state, is looking to get in on the action as well. Even the Baltic states can't help themselves. Estonia's deputy defense minister said that his country's open to discuss new deterrence options, and Latvia's prime minister said nuclear deterrence, why not? Meanwhile, as heads of state across the EU openly brag about their plans to get their hands on as many nuclear warheads as they can, Iran is on Donald Trump's chopping block, despite Tehran's continued commitment to using the atom exclusively for peaceful purposes.
The second aircraft carrier that you decided to send, talk about why you made that choice.
Well, in case we don't make a deal, we'll need it.
Are you worried?
We'll need it. If we have a deal, we could cut it short. It'll be leaving very soon. We have one out there that just arrived. If we need it, we have it ready. A very big force.
How confident are you that our negotiations with Iran will be successful?
I think they'll be successful, and if they're not, it's going to be a bad day for Iran. Very bad.
What about Poland and the Baltics? Should they expect an aircraft carrier to float up to its shoreline on the basis of potential nuclear weapons ambitions? This isn't an idle question, because even if Washington decides to turn a blind eye to nuclear threats from the EU, someone else might think otherwise, including someone who gets their own nuclear weapons first in a world that no longer has limits preventing anyone from obtaining one.